Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to do a reading for the Divine Masculine, just checking in with his headspace, his heart space, and his action space, what he's doing, how he's thinking, what he's feeling. And I'm going to do this one a little bit differently today. I started with drawing the Twin Flame Oracle cards, and then we'll go deeper into this with the tarot and even clarify some of these core issues with cards from the Vessel Oracle deck. Thank you so much to my new subscribers. It's lovely to see you all here. Let me know if this reading resonates with you down in the comments below. Okay, so we have 5 cards from the Twin Flame Oracle deck. We have, it's easier just to stay away right now. I can't seem to find the right words to say to you. Maybe we're just too different. Our connection still affects me. And how could you love me after all that I've done? So there's a lot of regret playing around in the Divine Masculine's heart, and a lot of fluctuation as we see. He kind of goes back and forth. So I wouldn't expect too much communication at this time. Now, I'm also getting that some of you may have reached out recently, and these are feelings that the Divine Masculine is left over with. He's been triggered a bit, realizing that, your connection is valid and it still affects him. But it's really just easier to sit back and gather his thoughts before finding the right words to say. And I think that there is a fear there that both of you want different things, or a fear on the Divine Masculine's behalf that if you were to get together, how would he preserve his autonomy? Would you work together? And if so, how was the work divided so that one person doesn't necessarily overtake or overcome the other? How do we have balance? Maybe your Divine Masculine wants to travel a lot and is worried that you're somebody that wants to plant roots as a feminine and have him be more at home. These are all things that he's trying to anticipate the Divine Feminine's needs right now. And we just have to remember that your connection was created in perfect harmony. So there are illusions about both energies that the feminine and masculine need to get over. This isn't, or very often, not traditional relationships. That's why we were brought here to come together, to show the world that two people can be whatever they want to be and create the life that they want. It doesn't have to look or live within the confines of typical, normal social constructs. So, in our headspace here, we have Judgment, the Son of Pentacles, and the Ten of Wands in reverse. So, with this Judgment card here, we have a lot of themes. The Divine Masculine is really thinking about, well, let me put it this way. This is your Divine Masculine here, the Son of Pentacles. So your Divine Masculine could be an earth sign. That would be Taurus, Capricorn, or Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising. And the good thing about this card, the upside, is that he's a very loyal, determined individual who takes a lot of time to process things and is often slow-moving about them. But once he's committed to something, he is going to go forward with that full force, even if that is a commitment to resolving illusions. And that is what we really see with these two cards here. You see there's a light aspect and a shadow aspect, but what's really amazing is they've actually flip-flopped. So the Ten of Wands in reverse represents burdens, represents personal blockages in one way or another, friction, and often internal friction, difficulties, negativity. Your person can be prone to anxiety and depression. And on the flip side, on the light side, quote, we have judgment. So your person is really thinking about forgiveness, rising above personal discrepancies in the past, personal freedoms, letting go of fear, rebirth and reincarnation in the same body, a transformation of some kind. And also, your person has heard the twin flame calling. So he's really thinking about the balance between these two cards right now, and actually using the energy of judgment represented by this peaceful dove here to find that tranquility where from all of the issues that he or she is having at this time that's weighing them down. Now, what are those issues? So I drew abundance from the Vessel Oracle deck. And it looks like, I'm sorry, I'm gonna shut this door. I don't know if you can hear. My neighbors are not. Everybody's home with their pets. But some of the issues could be about abundance. And I think at this time, the Divine Masculine is really concerned with, he's got the wrong idea. There are a lot of Divine Masculines out there who believe that if they don't have 3D world abundance, if they don't have a plethora of money, of resources, then they're not going to have that spiritual abundance. And that is absolutely not true. So we want our masculine to really go within and find that the focus should be on having spiritual abundance, represented here by all of these cups and this third eye. And you see everything's kind of melting together. You know, this requires a serious amount of surrender and the surrendering of these 3D world values. So if you have that spiritual focus, you will be abundant because you will be connected to the heart chakra represented by this pink color. And that's going to determine that as above, so below for you, that as within, so without. It's going to be the guiding focus and factor of prosperity in your life. So that's where the Divine Masculine is really heading. Now in our heart space, we have conflicting energy here, because we have the Three of Cups, we have the Mother of Cups, and we have the Ace of Wands. So while all this is going on in the headspace, the heart just wants to have celebration. It wants to tap into that gentle, juicy, intuitive side and be psychic and be in the flow. And it wants to have a new reunion or a new project with you. This can also indicate actually having children with you. If the Divine Masculine could just focus on what his heart is telling him, again, connected to true spiritual abundance, starting in the heart, we see that he'd really have no problem. Now, the Three of Cups is often a card of third parties. So there is a little bit of this going around. But I think also for the most part, your Divine Masculine wants to celebrate life with you. This card really reminds me of that Bob Marley card song, Don't Worry About a Thing. Every little thing's gonna be all right. So in his heart space, and this could be representative of you as well. So you could be a water sign, a Scorpio, Pisces, or Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising. But it could also be representative of his desire to really plug into that feminine energy for himself. And this is the energy that the Divine Masculine is really going to need in order to be gentle while moving through all of these blockages. Going through an ego death, if that is what's necessary. And I just love how we have birds in every single headspace, heart space, action space reading. These are going to be the Divine Masculine's guides. So, you know, we have swans, and the swan is a very graceful, almost ballet-ic type of bird. But they can be vicious. So I'm also kind of getting that in regards to third parties here, the divine masculine may have realized that, like, again, like, how could you still love me after everything I've done? Because he set you off somewhere and it got your hackles up, it got your feathers ruffled, and you became vicious to a certain degree, or perhaps he became vicious in his attack. So there's some imbalances there. But overall, the desire to begin again, this is another rebirth card here. To see that growth on the wands there, that desire to start over is so much more consuming. And it actually says in the book for this card, like, good judgment is needed. So that's a mirror here for this card. So yeah, your divine masculine, in his heart, he wants to really tap into those energies of inspiration and creativity and follow the lead of the divine feminine. But there is a serious confliction of the head of the heart here, which, you know, it's no surprise, honestly, that leads us to our action space and the fact that he's thinking with the Seven of Cups, like he's all over the place with his thinking. I drew the romance for the clarification for the heart space. And, you know, there's so much creativity and inspiration that come from romance. So that's really all the divine masculine wants. He, again, this beautiful imagery of surrender with the melting away of, you know, everything he thinks he is and the surrendering to love. So I think for the most part, we'll see pretty soon that the divine masculine will come around. He always does. So anyway, in our action space, we have, I believe this is the Nine of Cups. Yes, the Nine of Cups in reverse. We have the Father of Swords, also known as the King of Swords. And we have the Seven of Cups. So don't expect too much movement here, especially with the Twin Flame Oracle cards. You know, this card in particular is associated with the, you know, how could you still love me after all that I've done? Your divine masculine is like, how can I be your wish fulfillment? Like, because he knows for himself, if this had happened to him, he is way too unforgiving and severe somewhere. And I think that that is something that the divine masculine really needs to work through, is to not be so severe with himself, to not be a perfectionist, to not hold others to this high standard or hold himself to that high standard, to really surrender to the idea that he's human, surrender to the divine timing, that he doesn't always have to be in control of everything. You know, the Father of Swords is somebody who is really a fair person, which is lovely, and you know, he just favors himself to be somebody that's so wise. Sometimes there's a tendency to get really dogmatic and have that my way or the highway thinking in there, and that really blocks these energies of abundance and romance. Romance does not like severity. Romance needs water and rain and good soil and all of these allowing energies to bloom. So, and then of course there are all these options here. The Seven of Cups with the moon and the sun, you know, everything under the sun, feeling very insecure by the night time. I really feel like that's this card. Our connection still affects me, but I can't seem to find the right words to say. It's just easier to stay away right now type of energy. He's sorting through and wading through all of these feelings and all these conflictions and just trying to figure out how best should I go from here. And on the bottom of the deck, we have the Four of Cups. And we also have anxiety on the bottom of the Vessel Oracle deck. So for me, these are all signs to slow down. The Four is a card of processing. Since we have the Cups, it's a processing of the emotions. So there are a lot of illusions here that the Divine Masculine needs to work through. And there's a bit of anxiety as well here in that heart space where these two energies should really be. Now, the cards that I drew from the Vessel Oracle deck associated with this aspect of our spread is love, is rest, and is freedom. So again, the Divine Masculine is really trying to work out and paint himself a picture of what this relationship is going to look like. You know, I think at this point he knows the connection is not going to go away, but he's so worried, for some of you I'm getting, that his personal freedom is going to be compromised. And then of course we have this emphasis on resting. He's getting better at it, but he really doesn't like resting. He really still feels like he's caught up in this mentality that we have here in America, and I dare say in a lot of places in the world, where like you've just got to go, 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 go. You cannot rest. Resting does not equal productivity. And that is a very spiritually and relationship-wise damaging philosophy to have. The philosophy of love is an allowing energy, and you can't love something. Let me rephrase this. You love something, you know love when you've lost something. So these emotions that are surrounding our connection, love and loss, death and grief and rebirth, are all really natural things. And the Divine Masculine can't fear this process because it's only going to keep happening. Whoa, I just got deja vu there. So let him have his time to weed through some of these questions, some of these feelings that he is asking himself right now. Because if you did reach out and, you know, you wrote a letter or you left a voicemail or in whatever capacity, I'm getting that for a lot of you, your Divine Masculine, it's just triggered him into thinking about all of these things. And the logical side of him says, look, you've got to do something about this. You know, you can't ignore it. You can't keep blocking this person. You can't keep telling them to go away, because spirit is really at the helm of this connection. And ultimately, it's spirit that you're going to have to answer to. So that's all I have for you today. I hope you really enjoyed this reading. Let me know if it resonated down below in the comments. Like, subscribe to the channel, and then turn on those notifications, because on Monday we will have, I'm sure I'll do a pick-a-pile, honestly, in between now and then, but we'll have our Twin Flame Energies, overall energies reading. So you'll want to stay tuned for that. That's a video where I tell you how to best balance the masculine and feminine energies at the time. Oh, and if you'd like a personal reading, I can be reached by email. So everything's in your description box below. I hope you guys have a wonderful week. Take care.